All right, let's jump right in. We all have them, right? Those same old frustrations that pop up again and again. The thoughts that get us stressed out, angry, or just plain stuck. It could be about a team member, your partner, maybe even yourself. But what if all that frustration wasn't a roadblock? Seriously, what if it was actually a hidden source of incredible personal power? Well, today we're going to break down a really profound method for doing exactly that.
I want you to sit with this for a second. That thing that drives you absolutely crazy about someone else, that situation you just wish would finally change, what if that's not the problem? What if it's the key? The core idea we're exploring today suggests that hidden inside every single complaint is a direct instruction for your own happiness and peace. Kind of wild, right? Let's find out how it works.
So let's start with why we get so stressed in the first place. Fundamentally, the reason is that we spend most of our mental and emotional energy in the wrong place. We get stuck focusing on things that are, quite literally, none of our business. This really powerful concept comes from the author Byron Katie, and she explains that pretty much all stress comes from mentally living outside of our own business. We're over there, in our heads, thinking about what other people should be doing, how reality should be different, or we're worrying about things completely out of anyone's control. But here's the thing, you only have real power in one of those areas. And what's so great about this is how simple it is. Your business is what you think, what you feel, and what you do. That's it. That is your entire sphere of influence. Their business? Well, that's what they think, feel, and do. And God's business, or just call it reality, that's everything else. The past, the future, earthquakes, the stock market. Arguing with reality is like trying to teach a cat to bark. It's totally pointless, and you just end up frustrated. Peace begins the second we come back home to our own business. Okay, so if staying in our own business is the goal, how do we actually do that? Well, first, we have to understand what's really causing our stress. And the answer might surprise you. It's not the person. It's not the situation. It's something much, much closer to home. This right here is the absolute game changer. Think about it. Someone misses a deadline, and you feel angry. The missed deadline itself didn't make you angry. The thought in your head, he's unreliable and he's disrespecting my time, that's what caused the anger. The event is just neutral. Our story, our interpretation of it is what creates the emotion. We aren't disturbed by what happens, but by our thoughts about what happens. And this is just a brilliant way to picture how that works. Imagine your mind as a movie projector. The thoughts you believe, that's the film running through it. And the world you experience, the people, the situations, that's just the screen where your movie is being projected. We think we're seeing a flawed world out there, but what we're actually watching is our own internal movie. So what do? For years, most of us run around trying to fix the screen, right? We try to change other people, control situations, argue with reality, but it never works, does it? The real work, the only work that creates lasting change, is to go back to the projector room and change the film, to question our own thinking. So how do we actually do that? How do we change the film? This brings us to a simple, practical, and unbelievably powerful tool called the turnaround. So the turnaround is basically a method for taking a stressful thought and literally turning it on its head. Now, it's not about forcing yourself to believe something that feels like a lie. Not at all. It's a process of inquiry. It's a way to open your mind and discover new perspectives that might be as true or maybe even truer than your original, painful story.
And let's be crystal clear about the mindset here. This is not about self-blame. Blame keeps you stuck, feeling helpless and ashamed. This is about taking radical responsibility. It's about recognizing that you are the author of your experience. And the moment you realize that, you shift from being a victim to being a creator. That's where all your power is.
So let's get into the nuts and bolts. There are 3 specific ways to apply this process to any stressful thought that's bugging you.
And these 3 methods can be used on pretty much any frustration you're having, whether it's in your leadership role, your relationships, or just your own self-talk.
So here are the 3 moves. You can turn the thought around to yourself, turn it to the other person, and turn it to the complete opposite. Let's see how this actually works with a real-world example. Okay, let's take a super common stressful thought. He should appreciate me. First, we turn it to the self. I should appreciate myself. Is that as true or maybe even truer? While I'm waiting for his appreciation, am I actually taking a moment to appreciate my own efforts? Because that's my business. Second, to the other. I should appreciate him. In my laser focus on wanting his appreciation, have I stopped appreciating what he actually brings to the table? And third, to the opposite. He shouldn't appreciate me. Now, this one can sound pretty radical, but it's really about accepting reality. In this moment, he doesn't, and that's just what is. Fighting that fact is what causes all the pain. And again, this is so important. The purpose here is discovery. You're not trying to brainwash yourself into believing a lie. You're just gently exploring these new perspectives to see what truth they might hold for you. The goal is to find what rings true, what brings even a little bit of peace or understanding, and just loosen the grip of that original painful thought. So what's the ultimate payoff here? Well, when you start practicing this, you begin to see that your frustrations aren't just random annoyances. They are, in fact, your personal prescription for happiness. I just love this quote because it reframes everything. That medicine you thought someone else needed to take, turns out it's actually your prescription. That change you've been wishing they would make, that's your path to freedom. And this is really the ultimate takeaway. Your entire list of complaints about the world is actually your personal to-do list. The things you are demanding from others are the very things you need to give to yourself, or maybe even to them. This shifts you from waiting and wanting to acting and creating.
And just look how this works in practice. If you're thinking, my team isn't proactive enough, the turnaround is, I need to be more proactive. How can I model that for them? If you're thinking, she doesn't listen to me, one turnaround is, I need to listen to myself. What is my own gut telling me right now? Another is, I need to listen to her. Am I truly listening or just waiting for my turn to talk? Every single judgment points right back to you and your next powerful action.
Now, all of these incredible concepts, the three businesses, that projector metaphor, and of course the turnaround, they all come directly from the profound work of Byron Katie in her book, Loving What Is. This is really just a small taste of a much deeper process of self-inquiry, and I can't recommend enough exploring the source material if any of this is resonating with you. So I'll leave you with this. Don't just let this be an interesting idea you heard. Put it into action. Pick one small, stressful thought that's been bothering you, just one, and walk it through the 3 turnarounds. See what you discover. Because your freedom isn't out there waiting to be found. It's right here, inside you, waiting to be revealed. So what are you ready to discover?